Welcome back. I'm here today with Chai Patel. Chai is the Senior Vice President of Zions Bank, and she also leads the business development as well as strategic partnerships. Chai, welcome to today's show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's quite a mouthful of all these titles, but the bottom line is you hold a position of significance with Zions Bank today. I'd like to take a step back, though, and have you give your background, how you got into where you are, and the road that you traveled.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in India. I arrived at Boston Port at age 17. From there, I worked into family businesses, going to work to get my undergrad degree in finance and computer science. I worked in my aunt's motel. I worked in retail food business. I worked in convenience stores, gas stations, a lot of businesses that my family owned.
So motel, convenience stores, gas station. Your family must have quite a few businesses.
Yes, they do.
And you came into the Port of Boston then?
Yeah, correct. We traveled from I'm from Gujarat, India, and we traveled from there to Mumbai, and Mumbai to London, London to Boston. That was my first airplane trip, by the way.
Did you find the business aspect coming very natural to you?
Very
being
natural.
In an entrepreneurial family?
Very natural. Correct. Very natural. I could drop into a business when I show up at the airport. I want to run the airport. When I show up on the plane, I want to run the plane, and so it comes very natural.
So, Chai, with your schooling at 17, were you through your schooling, or did you continue on here in the U.S.?
Yeah, so I was finished with my my high school in India, but my uncle thought it would be a good idea for me to go back to school here in the United States because most of my education was done in India in Gujarati language. So he thought that I needed English background. So I graduated. I'm till this day oldest graduate of Attleboro High School at age 19.
Okay, and then in terms of furthering studies, then did you venture right out? Just you're working in the family business, and
yeah, so worked in family business, and I was going to college part-time, community college, and the bug was just there. And one day I decided that I wanted to carry on, and I was really good in school, and left Boston area to Texas, Denton, Texas, where my aunt had a motel, and just went there and went and pursued a degree in finance and computer science.
Finance and computer science. So it's so that bring us fast forward. How did you get into Zions Bank?
So long story short, went to work for J.P. Morgan Chase Private Bank in Dallas, Texas. Did really well. Moved close to my parents, moved to DC area with HSBC Bank in their embassy banking. From there, I meet my newly minted colonel husband, and we traveled out to Hickam Air Force Base in Hawaii, where I worked for Bank of Hawaii and ran their family office business in wealth management. And from there, we went back to DC, and my husband was moved back to Hill Air Force Base in Utah. And that's when I found my new home, which is Zions Bank. I was in Utah. I was on a nonprofit charity with someone from the bank, and he recommended that I go talk to president and CEO with my resume, and I did, and I was hired on the spot. So, coming into Utah, but you had a whole lot of entrepreneurial background there. What was the transition like, stepping into the role at Zions Bank that you're doing today? So the business channel I run today is a brand new business for the bank. No financial institution's done something like this. So it's pretty much like my uncle or my dad or someone from my family opening a door to whatever business that is. So I'm out there. Here I am in Fremont, California, talking to you. It's still nerve-wracking. I'm still opening doors to that brand new business line. Selling myself when I need to, training people who sell. So it's everything that entrepreneur does, I do with this particular business line within the financial services industry.
And this new business line, you're really working on helping to private companies with stock tracking and their shareholder
Correct.
Services.
So with this new business line, I am part of Zions Corporate Trust. Corporate Trust has been around 60 years working with public companies, managing their shareholder records, 1099 payments, dividend processing, those sort of things. And we were looking at the business to see how we could grow it. And we're going into a direction where we're offering same services to private companies. So anywhere from managing cap tables and cap table structures to shareholder structures to shareholder record keeping and ownership, dispersing dividends, then following up with the tax-related documentation, whole gamut of things we do for private companies.
I'm visiting here today with Chai Patel. She's the Senior Vice President at Zions Bank. Chai, I need to take a quick break, but we'll be back after these messages. I'd like to talk more about the strategic partnerships that you're establishing today at the bank.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
We'll be right back after these messages.
I love fishing, with my family.
I think it would be easier to use a net.
It was so much fun.
The times when we are together, it makes it all the more worth it.
Having Dad teach them how to cast a fly rod, and
as long as we're doing stuff together, we're having fun.
Some people see a father and a son fishing together, while others see a succession plan.
Welcome back. I'm here today with Chai Patel. She's a Senior Vice President at Zions Bank and also is leading up the strategic partnerships for the bank. Chai, before the break, we're talking about some of the services that Zions provides, and one of those would help on the corporate record keeping, and more particular in the area of their stock register. How do you determine what's a good client versus one that you'd rather not deal with for the
bank? So the good clients are private equity firms, venture capital firms, firms with the high activity are good clients. We love family businesses. Family businesses are a great client. However, recently we had a case where we had to turn down a family business. Family business had not kept up with their shareholder records in over 50 years, and the situation was just too complex for us to go and clean out and resolve. So, but anytime records are moderately complex and we go in and if we feel that we can resolve and add everything up, at the end of the day, we accept the client. But there are clients that are just too complex and present a lot of liability for us to go in and clean up the records.
When you're working with your clientele, is there a value added or how you differentiate yourself at Zions?
Most certainly. I go out and talk to prospects, clients around the country. And one of the company that we brought on as a client, they were spending $47,000 in annual fees at a vendor that was completely unresponsive and was not executing a couple of transactions that they agreed upon. And our fees were half that, and we were able to take over 20-30% of a workload from that private equity group's manager. And so there is a tangible, there is a monetary value we add, and there are days where CFOs just feel comfortable doing business with us because we're a large financial institution from Salt Lake City. We have expertise. They can come to us, seek guidance and advice in this complex topic area where how do I do this with my employee who has options, or how do I track what if they forfeit, and we have experts in-house that can walk them through that process. Their main job is to run company efficiently from the financial statements and tracking options and talking to and communicating with investors and employees is not their core competence. So we help them outsource that part with very limited cost.
And I'm going to kind of throw a curveball at you here, but in the we talk about stock options and tracking stock registers in the Valley here. We have the restricted stock unit that a lot of companies have moved towards. Are you involved with those also, or?
Yeah, we with restricted stock units, we would track them. We want to do accounting for them. So we have capabilities in our system to appropriately track them, but we can communicate with employees. We just don't have those capabilities. And if we have more than one approaches per quarter, I suspect that we can add that enhancement to our process. But that capability at the moment we don't have.
Is there does your firm also get it, or the bank also get into the valuation of the the stock, or do you work with independent advisors?
Yes,
there?
so we work with independent advisors, CPA firms, client valuations with private companies are very subjective. So it's not like you can go and get a new valuation firm overnight. So we work very simultaneously in a very harmonious way with their existing firms, and we source that information from that firm, and then we were able to store it and make sense of it, and then we turn that information back to CFOs so they can do their K1s and other filings.
Yeah, we live in definitely an age of electronics, and trying to automate things is more important for firms ever more.
Right, most certainly.
And so, are you realizing a lot of growth in your in Zions in the stock, area of providing the stock service?
Yeah, tremendous growth. We started brainstorming this business line 2 years ago. We fully launched the business line in January, and since then we have added handful clients. We have exceeded our goals for the goals we'd set to add new clients. So I feel confident we're doing good, and with the speed that we add clients in the last 2 months have increased. So I'm feeling very comfortable with what we've done.
I'm visiting here today with Chai Patel. She's the Senior Vice President at Zions Bank. Chai, I need to take a quick break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
When I grow up, I want to work with very successful people.
I want to advise people so that they can pay less tax.
Hang out with my clients on the golf course.
Fishing.
And on their private yachts.
They will all be my friends too.
I want to work with the VCs who will fund the next Fortune 500 company.
When I grow up, I want to be just like my dad.
Money won't buy you happiness in life, but we can help take care of your financial affairs so you can focus on what's really important.
Welcome back. I'm here today visiting with Chai Patel. Chai is the Senior Vice President at Zions Bank and is also leading the bank's strategic partnerships. We're more specifically focused on working with private companies and managing their stock registers and oversight. Chai, I want to kind of switch gears for a minute here, and I want to get more back into your life story. Coming into the U.S. as an Indian national at age 17 had to present some challenges or adjustments back to your life, but what was it like transitioning from coming into another country into this country and then pursuing a career?
Yeah, so if you really want to know how it's like on a day one, in India, we sit in the one classroom and the teachers come and go. And my first day at my high school, I sat in one class because that's what I thought I was supposed to do, and the students would move around me, and teachers would move around me, and I could not figure out what was going on until 3 weeks later. I was told that I was not following my own schedule, and my teachers were looking for me. So that's how it's like on day one when you fully grew up somewhere else and you showed up in a completely brand new country, and you have to follow their flow of things. So starting from there, language was a barrier, of course. It was a big issue. I was part of the ESL program at the high school. Getting through that, having to go through community college, I needed to take all of the math and science and other topics in English. It's been a long road, but I think I feel like at this age I've made it up by running very, very fast. So I knew that I could catch up to my contemporaries by running faster. And I think not only have I caught up my contemporaries, that I think I've moved beyond my contemporaries. So, speed equates to a lot of hard work, so yeah, it's been tremendous life so far.
You come across as a person with a lot of ambition and determination, and you're one that also forecasts in the future and sets your mark for career goals. Where do you anticipate or think that you'll be within a 3 to 5 year window?
3 to 5 years. If I could be completely candid, I would love to go into social businesses with a social responsibility factor attached to it, maybe hybrid business that's part nonprofit, part business, even politics that is attached to business. Something has to, I have great intentions to do good for people through social work or political work, but I have this great sense of business that I think I should capitalize on. So could I be a chief operating officer for, social company? Perhaps, could I hold a position within government? I could. I don't know. It's been blessing and it's been tremendous success, and I don't know where I'm going.
Well, if you look at working with entrepreneurs and business owners on a day-to-day basis, is it natural to you that just the relationships, or do you find that there's some challenges as you adjust into
very natural? I can relate to my maid at my hotel room. I can relate to my taxi driver, and I had 45-minute conversation with my cab driver coming here today, and how he's from Honduras, and we were talking about homelessness in San Francisco and what I saw in Vancouver last week, and so I can relate myself to that. And I was at White House last month, and I could talk to Rand Paul, and I could talk to so I feel like I have been blessed with ability to relate and connect with people of all walks of life.
In a way, you remind me of Nikki Haley. She's East Indian, though. You're on the other side of the country, but but coming here as an Indian national and venturing into politics, she's done a remarkable job.
She has.
What's your thoughts on that?
If I regret it now, that I feel like I should have gone into politics. I envy her position. She works very hard for her position. She's very good at it. I see a lot of future for her at national space, but she's a role model for sure for someone like me. But she did something I could not. So she's a great role model for young Indian Americans to see that what they could do.
So Chai, going back into where you are today with the business strategy, what are some of the challenges that you see companies facing today?
I think the challenges companies face today is I was in Vancouver, and I had an opportunity to chat with director of marketing of Lululemon, and she struggles with the same challenges are such. How do you grow a company to a certain level and still continue to keep your niche or your uniqueness or that agile company that you were once? She is a mammoth of a company now, Lululemon, and the way they talk back to their customers and the way they respond to certain complaints, it's all cute and offbeat. And how do you continue to do that when you're a multi-billion-dollar mainstream company, right? So I think the biggest challenge companies have is how do they retain their uniqueness while keeping the growth in mind.
And it also isn't today's business, even though we have technology advancing, the importance of having a good team still critical?
Yeah, when CEO of Yahoo came out and said, I need everybody in the offices, she got a lot of slack for it. But I think there's a value to face-to-face. The reason why I run around the country and meet folks like you is there's that unique spark you get with face-to-face that you don't get over the phone or you don't get over the email. And those relationships, I think, are lasting. So if anyone's in the business of building relationships with customers or partners or community, there is no better value than face-to-face.
I'm visiting here today with Chai Patel. She's the Senior Vice President of Zions Bank, Head of Business Development and also Strategic Partnership. Chai, if a person wants to get in touch with you, how would they do so?
So I am available. I'm on social media. I'm on LinkedIn. My name is Chaitali Patel, Chaitali, last name Patel. My contacts are right there. I'm on Facebook. Find me. I'm on Twitter. Chai for me. Find me. And of course, they can come to Freedom, American Freedom website on Facebook and find me.
Chai, thank you for being on today's show.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back after these messages.